It's the app that sends a shiver down many parents' spines, a place where kids can chat and everything they say disappears. Snapchat has been described as a breeding ground for bullying, but shockingly, it could dodge the government's social media age restrictions. Principal Dan McMahon joins me. Dan, we really appreciate your time. You've seen the consequences social media can have on kids firsthand. You lost a student. It doesn't get more tragic than that.
Ali, it doesn't. I've been a principal though for more than 30 years, for worse or better now. And the last couple of months at Shalom, we've lost 2 students. But in my career, sadly, these are ones of quite a number. Seen damage to kids for a long time now.
But this came about from online torment, bullying.
Online bullying, in certainly one of those situations, was a factor. It wasn't the whole story.
Yep.
Mental health is much more complex than that, but it's a factor. I see those tragedies every day. Now, happily, they don't all result in young people making terrible decisions about life, but certainly I see and my colleagues do, the trail of wreckage from poor online behaviour almost every day.
So how do you feel about Snapchat potentially being exempt from the new social media age limit of 16?
Ali, I've got to say, I'm a bit gobsmacked by that. I find that extraordinary. Of all the social media platforms that I, and I'm sure I speak for my colleagues in schools across Australia, deal with, Snapchat is one of the most common ones. Not everyone on Snapchat is an online bully, but in my experience, every online bully uses Snapchat. It's just such a great tool to weaponise harm. So I gather that some people will try and defend Snapchat and say it's just a messaging service. Regrettably, a lot of the messages I and my colleagues see from Snapchat are just really hurtful.
Yeah, well, that is what Snapchat is arguing, that technicality, that it's not a social media platform, it's a messaging platform. And for anyone who's not aware of what Snapchat is, you can send a message and as soon as it is read, it is deleted. And that's a big problem with the app, right?
That's correct. It just weaponises harmful content. So if someone wants to hurt someone, they can put something horrible on Snapchat and it's gone. There's no record. There's no saying, okay, when a student reports this, can you just show me the proof of this? The proof's gone. So it's a great tool for people who want to be online bullies.
So in your mind, if there is any ban, if Snapchat's not included, is there no point?
Well, I think it'll be a big hole in the system. I was really heartened this morning, to hear on the news about the proposal to limit some of those social media apps. And certainly, if the minister wanted me to draw up a list of damaging social media apps, Snapchat would be my number one. So I was certainly disappointed to hear that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty strong. And as you say, a principal of more than 30 years. Dan, you know what you're talking about.
Well, I'd like to think I do. I did got some feedback from one of my Year 11 classes on Snapchat, and a lot of the kids leapt to the defence of Snapchat and said that it's versatile and it's fun and it's safe if you only add the people you know. And I get all that. Like, I'm not the Snapchat demographic. I hand up guilty on that. The trouble is that a lot of the harm I see from young people is done by people they think are their friends. It's not done by random strangers. It's not done by people they don't know. It's done by their circle of friends, and they get hurt by that. So I get that young people might think there's some really good benefits of Snapchat, and I guess there might be. All I can say, and again, I think I speak for most of my colleagues, is that we just see the trail of destruction that an app like Snapchat leaves in our wake.
Look, I know a lot of the kids are resistant. I mean, they've already got it. Taking something away from them is really, really hard. But what more can parents do? Because even policing it is huge and some might say impossible challenge.
Oh, look, no, this is a really hard gig for parents. And I know I'm a parent. I've got 2 kids who use Snapchat. I guess if I had my time again, and my kids are both over 18 now, but if I had my time again, I think I would try and be courageous enough to step into that space. If they're going to use Snapchat, I want to be able to see who their friends are. I want to have access to that. and they'll scream about, oh, don't you trust us? Well, it's not about trusting them. It's about trusting everyone else. And I don't trust everyone else whom they might connect in an online world. I think parents have to take more responsibility in that. Often in schools, we get left to clean up the mess, and often we get blamed. But Ali, most poor online behaviour doesn't happen while kids are at school. It happens while kids are in the care of their parents in their bedrooms at night. You know, and we pick up the pieces at school and we try and do our best with that. But this is a parent space that parents need to step into and take greater responsibility with. Parents, and I blame myself with this, we all have to be a little bit more courageous than we've been.
Yeah, and you make that point, right, that you're dealing with the fallout. Where does this sit in terms of issues you've had to deal with throughout your career? Social media.
Yeah, I said it. I had a discussion with a parent just this week. You know, as I said, I've been a principal for more than 30 years. I've been in education closer to 50 years than 40. I don't think young people have changed a great deal in that time. They're still much the same young people as I first started teaching in my first class. But this aspect of life has changed for us. Social media, the internet has certainly changed the dynamic for the interactions of young people. So this is a real complexity, and it's a really tricky one to resolve. And I certainly understand the difficulties governments face in trying to put this genie back in the bottle a little bit. But I really think if Mr. Zuckerberg seems to know when I've bought a hose at Bunnings and will send me ads for more hoses and appliances that go with it, I just can't fathom that they can't work out an algorithm that they can identify really hurtful comments online, whether it's Snapchat or Insta or Facebook or Discord or anything else.
Yeah, Dan, as you're saying that, I'm sitting here and I'm nodding my head. Absolutely. And I mean, that's the thing, right? We need to save our kids from the anxiety and the hurt that social media can do. But do you worry it's too late? I mean, won't they find a way, or a new app will pop up? I guess I'm asking, can it really be banned?
Yeah, look, Ali, I don't know. I'd like to think we could do something, and it might be too late for the kids who are on the app now. But the next generation, I think we could maybe do something for. Certainly, we need to get smarter, and I appreciate the technology will, and it's a bit like a game of whack-a-mole. Something else will pop up. But I think if we can really encourage parents to be brave enough to step into the space of social media, that when we're excitedly handing them their first phone at age 13 or 14 or maybe 10 or 11, unfortunately, I think if parents are brave enough to set some guardrails around the use of that, then we've got a lot more hope of beating the online bullies, or at least being aware of that behaviour. But parents need to be the adults in the room with this. And it's not just a matter of giving them a device and letting them go. We wouldn't give our children, our 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old children, a rifle and say, here, go and do what you think with this. We give them training, we'd have rules around it, there'd be restrictions. Sadly, some social media can be as dangerous as a firearm.
Wow. Well, look, what we can't do, Dan, is put it in the too hard basket. We thank you so much for your time tonight. And can I just say, the kids are lucky to have you as a principal.
Well, some of them might think that, Ali. Hope a lot.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Ali. All the best.